Yo, I was thinking, yeah. So you know about how 99 between 100% of you guys have been to school? I'm sure there's some fair few that are still there. So what I'm gonna do is react to some quote-unquote relatable school TikToks that are on YouTube because I don't have TikTok and I can't be bothered to get it. So we're just gonna go into some relatable school TikToks UK, and we're gonna see what comes up. And I'm gonna rank these on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how relatable they actually are and how they actually represent schools. So let's just search it.
What I taught you.
Things that are
Right, okay, so first things first. There's no middle schools in the UK, by the way. Instead it's high school or secondary school as they call it, because I don't even know. So it's basically the school system goes primary school, which is like reception, or like I don't know what the equivalent is, but it's like 4 to 5 years old, and like to year 6, which is like 10 to 11, and then well, I mean everyone calls it high school, but it's actually secondary school. That's like 11 to like 16 years old, and then there's like stuff after that. So yeah, just to get you guys on the same page as me. So I'm not really sure how relatable that really is. I mean, I might need to watch that again, to be honest.
What I taught you.
I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I've not really been in like a high school relationship or middle school, as they call that. So I don't really know how relatable that is. I'd probably say that's maybe like 3 or 4, speaking from experience here. Or no experience actually, so
things that are in all British secondary schools. The roadmen year 9s, that would be like, oh, you're right, darling, yeah, you little lush, you do. Like, oh, fam, yeah. Shut up, you're literally 13. These were my least favourite type of people. Those that know they're smart. They know they're smart, and when you don't know an answer, they laugh. They have the audacity to laugh at you. Like, I remember I was sat in science and I was like, I don't get it. This kid next to me, he was like an absolute genius, just laughed. How rude. The cover teacher that asked the infamous question of, do you behave like this with your normal teacher? No, love, we take liberties when we have a cover teacher. You should know that by now.
Bro, oh my god. Alright, to be fair, that is true. The Roman year 9. Like, some people like call them like year 7 chavs, but they're not year 7. Year 7's like 3 foot tall. Like, I don't understand why. Like, when I was like not in high school, like I was so scared of like year 7s. I was thinking, oh, they're literally giants. When I get there, I mean, for me, I'd say like the average height was probably around 5'2", and then it slowly like decreased over time, and now there's like kids that are like 3 foot tall, bro. It's literally crazy. Then there's, I mean, there is smart kids, but like they aren't like this. They don't laugh at you. They're just like smart, I guess. I don't know. Oh, the cover teachers, bro. Yeah, no one cares about the cover teachers, bro. If it's a cover teacher, everyone's gonna be like sitting wherever they want, like making jokes about them, you know what I mean? And also like some kid would probably change their name or something. Like I remember in year 7 one time we had music, we had a sub. I think one single sub in music for the entire year. So it was like 1 in like 365 probably, maybe more than that. But this kid, like his name obviously, but like he called himself Josh, and that wasn't his name, obviously. And the cover teacher was like doing stuff around that, and he was like singing some like song or something for some reason, like, and then he's like something, and then like the kid had to say like his name. He's like Josh, and then like a few minutes later, like he's disrupting the lesson a bit, and then this teacher comes in and she's like, "Oh, where's like so and so?" Which was like this kid that was Josh in quotes, and then the teacher's like confused because they're like, wait, I thought your name was Josh, and then they got like one or two detentions maybe, I don't know.
Because you've been teaching for 13 years. Either you're really stupid or you're just a fool. It's safe to say
Yeah, the cover teacher, like they'd always say, do you act like this with your normal teacher? And like sometimes if like really taking the piss, they'd always like bring like another teacher in to like for like call out for another teacher, and then they'd just be like screaming, it'd be like head of year or something. Anyway, let's just continue.
I hated school.
Bro, that is actually true, bro. But I forgot to rank the other one. So I'd say the other one's probably like 8 out of 10. This one, hold on, I need to. Who really does care about mental health? I mean, me personally, I don't really know. That's probably like an 8, like 7 or 8 maybe. I probably have to mute this song by the way. I don't know. Hey, what's a vape? Yeah, like everyone, pretty much. I feel like 50, like around 50, like 40 to 50% of kids, maybe even 40 to 60 kids vape in school. It's probably about 10% year 7, 30% year 8, maybe like 40% year 9, probably 45 year 10, and then like half of year 11 probably. I mean, I don't know. Then the next one. Just like, bro, no one cares about the subs, bro. I only use the toilets for the intended purpose, yeah. Oh yeah, my school banned like two people being in the locker at the same time, but it's just weird. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? If you're definitely using the toilets for the intended purpose, which nobody is. I've got nothing to do. I do everything at home. I mean, I don't really know about that. I don't hear. We really did. The toilet was so refreshing. I mean, it just depends what time you go. If you go during lesson, there's probably like nobody there. But if it's break time, like it's just packed. Like, it's probably hot box with like vapes or something. And at lunchtime, it's probably more calm actually. What do you mean? Assembly's cancelled. The hell choose coming school in PDA. This isn't crowded. I was waiting this for lunchtime clubs wasn't so long. The quality, yeah, bro, the food prices are an absolute joke. I mean, you could probably get like, you probably get somewhere like, especially like if it's Radnor Splash, that probably costs like £2 from Morrison's, for a pack of 6, by the way. For one Radnor Fizz, for £1, like it's just a rip off when you can get like 6 of them for double that price. Yeah, I can hear you fine. I don't like wearing my coat anymore.
I go to a British
Right, let's go on to the next one.
secondary school. Of course we chew gum in class even though we're not allowed. I go to a British secondary school. Everybody talks about everybody. I go to a British secondary school. Of course all the food in the canteen is absolutely vile and I would never put my mouth near it. I go to a British secondary school. Of course all the girls roll up their skirts until their asses are hanging out. I go to a British secondary school. Of course the toilets smell of blue ras and fizzy cherry. I go to a British secondary school. Of course there's that one person in class who thinks they're the funniest person in the world, but realistically everyone hates them. I go to a British secondary school. Of course the science chairs hurt my back to the point where I have to get a chiropractor. I go to a British secondary school. Of course, we all have that one teacher that just decides to pick on all of the quiet kids for the fun of it. I go to a British secondary school. Of course, when we have a substitute teacher, we're going to change our seats and just mess about the whole lesson. I go to a British secondary school. Of course, there's huge fights every other week. I go to a British secondary school. Your drama is everyone's drama. I go to a British secondary school. Of course, I've heard the story of the guy who was swinging on his chair and cracked his head open. I go to a
Oh
British
my
secondary school.
god, bro. This one time in PE when we were going into like the fitness week for the first time in year 7, like the teacher, like the first thing they told us when we got to the, like when he was like talking about the treadmills, the first thing he said was like, oh yeah, by the way, you can't go above 11 miles an hour on there. And we're all just like, why not? And like they're like, because some kid was taking off his hoodie and then he slipped and cracked his head open. I mean, that's his fault. Why was he taking his hoodie off? And let's be honest, he probably wasn't even going above 11 miles an hour as well. He was probably like just being stupid. And like, honestly, but I've seen kids do that. Like, I've seen kids like go above 11 miles an hour and, well, they didn't crack their head open and die, so you know.
Whenever it's cold, the windows are always open, but whenever it's hot, they're always closed shut.
Yeah, that's true. Like, that is actually true. Like, I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, if it's cold, just put your blazer on, you know what I mean? But, like, if it's uncomfortable, then you just screwed, aren't you?
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, there's that one girl who creates all the drama, who all the other girls happen to just worship. I go to a British secondary school. Of course, the Belgian waffles in the canteen are the best snacks out there. That's my makeup time. Love you guys. Bye.
Alright, so yeah, we'll just ignore the fact she was doing a makeup all the time. But yeah.
Go to a British secondary school. Everybody talks about everybody.
To be fair, like, sometimes, I mean,
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, all the food in the canteen is absolutely vile and I would never put my mouth near it.
I mean, low key, I mean, I have packed lunch, so I don't have to deal with that.
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, all the girls roll up their skirts until their asses are hanging out.
Yeah, to be fair, that is quite relatable. I mean, like, and you just have to deal with it, you know what I mean? And it's always like the chavs as well that do it as well, you know what I mean?
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, the toilets smell of blue ras and fizzy cherry. I go to a British secondary school.
Nah, the toilets are even worse than that. I mean, sometimes if you walk in there, nothing happens, but sometimes you can see an entire toilet roll that's just been shoved down the toilet. And my school has them like really like big ones as well that are usually like meant to be in like dispensers, and you have to pull it out and the paper comes out like scrunched up. So if you're trying to take like a shit or something, you have to deal with scrunched up toilet paper, bro. Like, it's awful. I mean, I don't really have to deal with that because, well, I don't do that, you know what I mean?
School. Of course, there's that one person in class who thinks they're the funniest person in the world, but realistically, everyone hates them.
Yeah, that's probably, that's quite relatable, actually.
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, the science chairs hurt my back to the point where I have to get a chiropractor.
Bro, why are the science chairs like so much more different to the regular chairs? Like in every single other class, you always see like blue chairs that are like the plastic ones. You know what I mean? And then in science, you have like high chairs for like no reason. Like, what's the point?
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, we all have that one teacher that just decides to pick on all of the quiet kids for the fun of it.
I mean, I don't really know about this one.
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, when we have a substitute teacher, we're going to change our seats and just mess about the whole lesson.
Yeah. Like one time we did it to the point where the sub literally cried and like never came back. Like, it was this one random kid, the same kid that called himself Josh with the other one. And like he was just feeling like really devious that day. And like he just bullied the sub until they just actually started crying. And then the head of year just stormed in and started screaming at everybody because, it was all our fault, yeah.
I go to a British secondary school. Of course, there's huge fights every other week.
Nah, that's not the case for me, actually. A fight probably happens once every 3 months. but when it does, everybody's talking about it. And I remember I literally witnessed this fight on the field. Like, I was with the people, yeah, and like some guy like got called Boss Baby. It was some like year 11 that got called Boss Baby. And like this year 9, this was like when I was in year 9. Like this guy got called Boss Baby and started crashing out and like throwing hands. But it was fun and like swinging like it was just like really funny to watch. And then like the teacher was stood like next to it, but had her back turned to it for like 5 seconds until she like stopped it.
I go to a British secondary school. Your drama is everyone's drama. I go to a British secondary school. Of course, I've heard the story of the guy who was swinging on his chair and
I already talked about this one. Next.
It's absolutely unacceptable, and you have embarrassed yourself and our school, and I will be speaking to George about this too. Sorry, miss, can I come in? George, are you in here? Yes, you are. Right, you're coming with me. Get your things because you will not be coming back here. You'll be going with Toby. Sorry about this, miss. Just pretend I'm not here. Come on. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Right, both of you. Right, guys, can we please carry on? Just ignore what is going on out there. Can we focus on the work in here, please? Thank you. Just ignore everything, please.
That's actually so true. Whenever there's something going on outside of the classroom, it is really, really hard to pay attention to what's going on in the lesson. Especially if you can literally hear the teacher outside. But like, to be fair, like, it's always like the teachers that are always saying, "You're embarrassing our school." I mean, like, who's gonna look at like a random like secondary school and just be like, "Oh yeah, they're a really good school. I'd really want to be. they're really nice. Like, I'd probably send my kids there." You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna think that. I mean, I feel like nobody's even gonna really care about like another school, and if they do, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, I'm staying away from them."
5.
That is so true. It's in assembly as well. They always did it in that assembly. Like, but primary school actually just hits different, like, honestly.
Things that always happen in British secondary schools. Let's go. The kids that block the stairs when
Mate, turn your mic down, mate.
everyone's trying to go up. So they have both of their hands out wide so no one can go up. And then there's a massive line on the stairs. Like, everyone's trying to push in, everyone's trying to go up, but there's just one kid just holding up the whole stairs. Like, that's happened to every single... Let's just be honest. The fights that happen in school.
I mean, for the stairs, like, for some reason, like the stairs are meant to be like a one-way system, but like nobody really cares about them. So like when when you're trying to go up the stairs, like when you're going down the stairs, there's always some like year 7s or something that are trying to go up the other way, and like it's really so annoying, bro, because like they're like trying to squeeze past, and like everyone's just coming the other way. Like, you might you'd be quicker to go all the way around the one-way system and just go up the other stairs.
Fields now. This has happened in every single secondary school. Let's be honest. Like, you just see a whole crowd of people running someone. You're like, what the hell's going on? You already know it's a fight going on, so you'll follow.
I already said this is not relatable for me. Wait, I forgot to rank like the previous ones. So that one with like the makeup one, this one, that's probably like 8 out of 10 maybe. This one probably like 6 out of 10 because like normally I don't hear him. This one, that's 10 out. That's 9 out of 10.
Them, and then you see 2 kids fighting in a massive circle. Always happens. I don't know why, but there's always that one class where there's a glue stick stuck on the ceiling. Let's be honest.
I've never seen that in my life, but I've seen something similar where like, you know them like yellow men thing, like them stretchy yellow thing, like men. You know them. Yeah, I'll put a picture on. Bro, there's this one class. It's like in my English class or something, and like there's like decapitated or like non-decapitated like yellow guys just on the ceiling, like stuck there. So like, I guess this is kind of relatable, but it's not a glue stick.
There's always that one class in school, and then the teacher just goes, "Ow, we spent so much money on these school equipment." You know, it's just like that. When you distract the teacher of doing work by asking him so many questions about their life and stuff, and then the whole class is in on it, and then the time is running out, and then next thing you know it, the end of the class, and the best moment.
Nah, that never happens to me.
When the teacher and students start arguing, this is the highlight of your school.
Yeah, to be fair, like, there's always that one student that just really just can't, like, stop arguing with the teacher. Like, if they're, like, sat, like, if they're being moved or something, and if it's not even to, like, a bad seat, like, if they're being moved away from their friend or something, they just start having a full-on tantrum, bro. It's so annoying. I say that one's probably a 7 out of 10 because of the fight one, because, like, it kind of weighs it down a bit for me.
Right, Jacob, what do you think I'm going to say to you? All lesson, we have heard your voice. You have been non-stop chatting and it is distracting everyone in this room.
I agree.
Okay, what is it that you're talking about that is so desperate that it cannot wait until lunchtime? We've got the lovely Lauren here and she agrees that all we have heard this lesson is your voice. Okay, this is your second warning. There won't be a third.
Your style, I like.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, me personally, like, teachers, they're, like, calm about it. Like, I feel like whenever stuff happens like that with me, like, the teachers, like, or, like, in my class, like, if there's assistant teacher, like, I don't really care, but it's always, like, a substitute teacher that's in there with them. It's like, that's the assistant teacher. But, like, they usually just walk around and just, like, try and be assistant, I guess, I don't know. So that's probably, like, 5 out of 10, maybe.
Your class, but most of all, I like your ass. Ding dong. Wah.
Morning.
Bro, I wish, bro, what the fuck did I just witness, bro? Honestly, like, some, like, corny, like, pick-up lines like that, like, I feel like everybody's done that at least once, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm just gonna stop. That's probably, like, 6 out of 10.
Morning. Oh, you look nice. Girls, yes, you three, could you come here, please? Do we really think that this is appropriate to wear at school? No. Actually, I'm a bit worried if you do think it is appropriate. Not leaving much to the imagination, girls. I think to save a phone call home, you should go to PE Lost and Found and see if there's something. Or if you have time, go home and change. Oh, goodness me. Boys, what did we say about people coming in fancy dress? What's that? Yes, I know you think it's hilarious to dress as the Teletubbies, but this is a learning environment, isn't it? Coming in non-school uniform is a privilege. Oh, Sarah, it looks like you forgot. Yes, it's non-uniform today. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? No, you can't go home and change, no, because the bell's going to ring in 10 minutes. No, it doesn't matter if you live 5 minutes away. You know, you need to be in there, ready.
Yeah, honestly, school non-uniform day is probably, like, the peak, like, most peak thing in school, you know what I mean? But yeah, to be fair, like, I feel like probably 90% of girls just come in, like, inappropriate outfits, maybe, I don't know. Or, like, stuff that is considered inappropriate, but, like, the boys, like, they don't come as Teletubbies, they come in, like, they're, like, Leeds United football shirts or whatever, or, like, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised she didn't mention that. But yeah, there's always that one kid that either forgets or just doesn't want to come in non-uniform. Like, me personally, I just come in, like, a hoodie and tracksuit, maybe.
It doesn't matter if you live 5 minutes away. You know, you need to be in there, ready.
I'm actually ill with period pains, so I'm not playing.
I go to a
Yeah, that's true. Wait, I forgot to rank the other one. This is probably, like, 8 out of 10, maybe. Nah, 7 out of 10. Yeah, this one, that's, like, actually relatable. But, like, what's he said at the end, I don't really know. That's probably, like, 8 out of 10, maybe. Like, there's always, like, the chav girls at the back that just don't play PE and just, like, avoid the ball. They're just like, oh, get away from me, you know what I mean?
British school, of course I've had a ball lobbed at me at least once in my life. I go to a British school, everybody talks about everybody. I go to a British school, of course the boys are rude to try and be funny, but they're just not. I go to a British school, of course our food is literally disgusting. I go to a British school, of course all I hear about is GCSEs.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, when you hit like year 10, that's when they like really start talking. Nah, it's probably year 9 actually. But yeah, I feel like this is the exact same as this one, so it's probably gonna be like probably 7 out of
I
10.
go to a British school. Of course, I've heard the story about the guy who was swinging on his chair and cracked his head open. I go to a British school. Of course, I know unconscious people don't want tea. I go to a British school. Of course, it's either too hot or too cold. There's no in between. I go to a
Yeah.
British school. Of course, every year a school tea account is made. They're funny until you get put on one. I go to a British school. Of course, I've had something nicked at least once. Rest in peace to my gold earrings that got stolen in year 8 PE.
Oh yeah, stuff. I mean, it's the same thing, but like, yeah, that's relatable, honestly. I've had like equipment stolen, honestly. Yeah.
I go to a British school. Of course, we all have that one Donny who is acting out all the time, but he still hasn't been suspended.
Yeah, there's always that one kid that. Nah, it's like there's always that one kid that's always like ending up in like isolation or something, or like gets into so much trouble he's like suspended but never like expelled.
Go to a British school. Of course, there's that one kid who has not been seen in school since year 7.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, so it's probably still 7 out of 10, but there's like this one kid on like the register or something, and he just never turns up. Like no one ever sees him. I've only ever seen him once, and it wasn't even at school. It was outside of the school, bro. What? I don't even understand this.
Suspended.
Maybe that's probably like 6 out of 10. Maybe if you're like borrowing, if you're like borrowing like, if you're like borrowing money off someone in school, they're not gonna like, or if like you're giving somebody money, they're not gonna return you. I don't know. Me personally, I don't really have beef with any teachers, so that's probably like 1 out of 10 for me. But I swear, like, there's always that one kid that's always trying to like skip lesson, you know what I mean? But it's like pretty much impossible for me, for like my school, because there's always teachers on the first and the second floor, but not really on the ground floor. But to be fair, you can't really. If you're on the ground floor, it's like a death sentence, because if like a teacher sees you, there's nowhere for you to go. Because it's not like the other floors where it's like you can just lap around. It's like the ground floor's like weird. And like you can't really hide in the toilets because the teacher's obviously gonna see that the door's locked. So you know. But I mean, I don't know. Bro, why does every single girl always have handbags, bro? Like just get like a backpack or something. It's easier.
I go to a British school. Of course, all the girls are gonna roll up their skirts. I go to a British school.
Alright, I'm just skipping this one because I've literally just seen it about 2 other times.
Everyone take your seats, year 6 is on the benches, year 5 is on the floor. What? Why do year 6s get to sit on the benches? It's not fair. You're considered the peasants of the school. I'm not a peasant. Year 6 is raw, all other years draw. Sir, my bottom hurts. Too bad you're not sitting on a bench. Can't wait till I'm in year 6 and I can sit on a bench. Everyone take your seats. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of the benches this year to make it fair for everybody.
Oh, that's... Bro, this one time in year 6, I remember, like, the teachers got so angry at, like, us when I was in year 6. And, like, they literally banned us from the benches for, like, a day or something. We had to... Like, the year 3s, like, swapped with us. Because, like, our school, like, split up into, like, two parts, like... And so, like, there was, like, reception to year 2 and 1 and year 3 to year 6. So... The year 3s, like, but year 3s were like, the squeakers got to sit on the bench, but to be fair, in primary, everyone was squeakers. But like, the year 3s, like, they're just like, oh my god, I can't believe it, I'm sitting on the benches, I thought I had to wait another 3 years for this. And meanwhile, like, us year 6s, we're like, sitting at the front, looking, like, feeling really embarrassed, all because, you know, I don't even know why, to be honest. POV after school, if you and your friends go to Primark to gauge. I might have to mute this. That's probably like 1 out of 10 because I don't really go to Primark after. Wait, I forgot to rate this. This one, I'd probably say that's like maybe like 7 out of 10 because like year 5's like, I don't know.
This is what an average school in the UK looks like. If you're not out doing cross-country in winter when it's 0 degrees, then you're made to do rugby, which is so much worse.
Yeah, that's facts, bro. I don't understand why they always do rugby at like the start, like after like the first like full term, or, like at the end of like the first term. So it's in like December time, like maybe November. Like you expect us to do like rugby when it's like 0 degrees or like maybe even in like negatives, bro. Now I remember, now me personally, I've never done like PE. I don't think in like double negatives before, but I could just imagine how bad that would be, bro.
Every school canteen, which sells...
Bro, this is literally the school's drink. Like this drink is just like reminds you of school, doesn't it? Like, bro, I remember like one time, like this, we was sat down, and like this kid like had this bottle of Randolph Fizz, and like this kid was like, he took like the lid off it and then lobbed it at somebody, like just across the canteen. And like the drink just spilled out everywhere. It was literally this flavour actually. Actually no, it might have been the cherry. But yeah, it was just funniest thing. And he tried blaming it on my mate. He was like sat next to him, but like it didn't work and he got into trouble. It was actually the funniest thing I've seen all day.
Radnor Fizz, having the most pointless school assemblies.
Good morning, students. Today's school assembly is how cardboard boxes are made.
That's something you do in like textiles though. No, not textiles, prototyping. In year 9, there was some reason to replace textiles with prototyping instead of like doing the other stuff. So we were learning about paper and cardboard and how it's made. Like, bro, we did this in primary school. Like, what do you?
The swimming pools, which have the coldest showers of all time, they are literally never warm.
My school don't have a swimming pool, bro. I didn't even know that schools even did that. You know what I mean? I think it used to, but I don't know. And also, like, we were never even allowed to use the showers. Cause like, I remember one time in year 8, like some people were like running around putting each other's stuff in like the showers and turning them on, and like then the PE teachers came in and like full on like yelled at us to like never do that again. It was actually funny.
The supply teacher with a name everyone jokes about.
Now then, students, my name is Mrs. D. Snotsy.
Right, nah. Bro, supply teachers, like, they always start like, some of them like start like an 8-year-old's like Minecraft Let's Play, bro. It's like, hey guys, we're doing English today. Like, you know what I mean?
He's nuts.
Also, when you have a supply teacher, no one sticks to the seating plan.
I mean, sometimes if they actually have the seating plan, you have to, because they'll just be like, excuse me, I don't think I'll side over seats. You know what I mean?
Secretly using Google Translate in German and French lessons.
I never had German and English. I had French in like primary, but I don't anymore. I had Spanish. I'm so glad I don't have to do Spanish anymore. You don't know the amount of times I felt like I wanted to like kill myself, bro. It's so bad.
Every UK school has sleep-deprived students who just exist, and there's always one teacher who's feared by the whole school and known for being really angry.
I mean, I don't really know about that one, to be honest.
What did I miss off? Tell me below for the next part.
You kind of miss, like, you miss, like, multiple things, you know? Like, you kind of miss, like, the corridors, like, how packed they get, bro. Like, bro, bro, like, it's an like, when you're getting into, like, the food doors or something, bro, it just gets so packed, and there's kids, like, pushing, shoving, and making their way through, and I just, like, really, like, annoying everybody there. Like, this one time, it was so packed, like, the estimated time to get there was probably around 10 minutes. So this kid behind me kept, like, pushing me through, and I felt like I was on, like, Tesla autopilot, and I just made it through. School couples are honestly just a weird, like, weirdest type of breed. Have you seen them as a random cringy couple? And it's too much, yeah. I mean, they don't even, like each other as well sometimes. Like, they just do it for, like, clout or something, I don't know. I probably had to, like, mute that. It's kind of weird how you're doing it to, like, a support beam, and also that just really, really pisses me off. Like, look at that! It looks like it... Bro, who installed that? Like, I'll just tear down the support beam, honestly. Oh, and that's the end. So, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like on it. And, if you enjoy more content that I make, then consider subscribing. And also, this guy's got 46 subscribers. He's got one more than me, so let's see if I can get another. So, yeah. Anyway, see ya.